Alrighty guys, welcome back. We are watching Nisemonogatari episode 10, Tsukihi Phoenix Part 3. I can't believe we're almost done already, right? We have 2 episodes left. That's crazy. To me it feels like it was I don't know, not very long ago that we started this, but we're getting there. We're almost done with Nisei, so man. Last time we met Kaganui Yozuru, and Ononoki Yatsugi. So I don't know where we're going. We haven't gotten much of Tsukihi yet, that's for sure. There's been an extreme lack of both Tsukihi and Phoenixes. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Yeah, we're watching Tsukihi Phoenix Part 3, Episode 10. Can line you and copy you up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Hmm. Okay. Oh, that looked cool. What are you doing? Okay. Wow. She was there, obviously, when we met Kaganui and uh-huh. Okay. All right. Never mind. Okay. Sure. Man, my mind was racing, thinking like what she could be saying, but no. Okay. Sounds good to me. True. She has to work to convince him. Hmm. All right, off to Mr. Donut, I guess. That was not okay. I guess when she was talking about the secret information, how would she possibly get some secret information that Araragi himself wouldn't know? I guess that makes me wonder, how does she know that there's a Mr. Donut sale? Where'd she get the secret information from? Who knows? Who knows? Man, for an arc that is so much shorter than Karen's arc, and we are 2 episodes in, we're in the third episode now, we have still not seen like any Tsukihi at all. She is really, man, unlucky for her, I guess. Hmm. And we haven't even we don't even have like a conflict or anything yet, do we? I don't know. I just wonder, I don't know. I don't know where we're going cuz yeah, as I said, we have not had like any Tsukihi or any Phoenixes. So, I guess in Karen B, it took a few episodes to like actually get to the B, but we only have 2 more episodes. So, we got to get going. Got to read that. Got to remember to read that. I always forget. Remember the last couple times, I think though. Oh, there's Tsukihi. Oh yeah, where is she? At Conver's house? Hmm. No way. Come on. Hmm. Yeah. Sounds about right to me. Hmm. A clearer inner image of it. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Nisemono. Too easily influenced by the people around her. That is an interesting thing to say. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting thing to say. Really? Of course, yeah, they would stop getting into trouble. Like you do. When has Aragi ever bullied you? Yeah, come on. Okay, well, I don't know about that either. Okay. Hey, come on. You gotta cut him a break for that one. There's no helping it. Okay, sure. Okay. Come on. Yeah, we gotta get going. What? What are you talking about? Come on. I what? Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, why not? Cool. Fantastic. You tied that around her hand like hello. I a very good question. A fantastic question, even. Is that from the from when she like saved Karen, right? From that text flash in one of the way earlier episodes. Scars heal. I don't know about that. That's very true. What are we doing? Uh-huh. Okay. Thanks, man. Thank you. Uh-huh. I think they might not be unfounded in that conclusion. I don't know. I don't think you are required to... Okay. Kazawa-kun. Hmm. He looks so disappointed. What does that mean? Okay, thank you. Man, imagine seeing her like this after just having like watched Kizu or something, you know? I gotta go to Mr. Donut sometime. No. Uh-huh. Yes. Welcome to the harsh truth of reality. Once a month? Come on. More often than that. Three? They're only 100 yen each. Come on. I guess. Much better. Thank you. Fantastic. Why does she like donuts so much? Like, I mean, I guess donuts are good, but like, when was she first introduced to the glory of donuts? I suppose because I assume she didn't eat normal food when she was a vampire. You know, I mean, she's still a vampire, but okay, sounds about right. Supernatural creature. Well, I think she just said Kai. Hmm. Does it? I don't. Okay, if you say so. I would have to understand what their names mean, I guess. Okay, because of your name. Hmm. Yeah. Come on, you gotta tell us. What if, like, what if there were more donuts? Like, come on. Mm-hmm. A man sitting in the seat over there. Oshino? Surely. Oh, it's Kaiki. Okay. He was just sitting right behind them this whole time. Okay. Yeah, I was like, surely it's not Oshino. That would be crazy. Minor business. Did not think we were going to see Kaiki again. At least not this early. Not this soon. Does he? Does he actually know about them? Or he, like. Oh, awesome. Okay. I mean, sure. What does that mean? Ghostbusters. Hmm. Mono. Exorcists. That sounds kind of worrying. Like, I don't think I would describe Oshino as an exorcist, you know? I feel like that has a different connotation than specialist, obviously. In the business. Mm-hmm. In immortal creatures. Okay. So, like, obviously, there's Araragi himself. He's immortal. We also did have, like, the setup in the first episode at the first episode of this arc, where he said Tsukihi is immortal. I mean, assuming you can still even qualify Araragi and Shinobu as immortal. But what's the difference between... hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, how do you decide if something's immortal or not, you know? Like, or if it's just not alive. Maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, what do you call the monkey immortal, you know? The cat feels like a, I don't know, different case, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really don't know if they're exorcists. They just, oh, hi. Okay. Yeah. No. That, continuing to ring the bell. Do not think they're here. Or Kiyomi. I mean, that would make sense if they still do want to kill them, too, I guess, right? Just like the vampire hunters would still want to, I'm sure. Okay. Ooh. Haven't heard that name in a while. Okay, it's been resolved. Hmm. She calls him a human. Well, she knows Oshino. Okay. Yeah, she knows him well, apparently, calling him Oshino-kun. Yeah, why are they here then, right? Who's inside the house still? Yeah. But then, like, what? I mean, Skihi, why would they want to kill her? You know? Like, I mean, uh huh. Okay. Are we. Oh, okay. We're destroying the house and killing her. Okay, unlucky, I guess. Oh, wow. I mean, obviously she's not dead, right? Like, obviously. So, I mean, yeah, Aragi's gonna freak out. Unfortunately, you are not. I don't think. y- Anger doesn't make you stronger, sadly. What are you doing? Say it. Yeah. Okay, but if they're here to kill Skihi. Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah, she's A-okay. Oh, man. Oh, she is. So she is like really immortal, huh? It's like kiss shot level of immortality, huh? Okay. Possessed by an immortal bird. Was Well, it was never? Thank you. I don't know about that. Because if it was never, I mean, if it. We don't care. Yeah, it's not like she's completely nothing anymore, you know? She could certainly handle Black Hanakawa. Okay, so, I mean, are you calling her his sister or not? Okay, so no. Nisemono. Man, okay. I get what we're doing here, I think. Wow. I believe you, yeah. Hmm. Bakemono. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Evil. Yeah. And he is thinking that's like what he thinks of himself, right? Okay. Man. Okay. So, all right. I guess I said we would have to really get going, and I guess we are. Let me read the lyrics again. Hmm. I feel like I want to say that my idea for this ending, I'm just going to say this and I'm not going to explain it at all, is that it's from Shinobu's perspective. And that might sound crazy, but I'm not going to extrapolate any further. Well, saying that with this show, I don't know. There's quite a few. A fan of what? I guess. I'm sure. I'm sure that'll be the final episode. Um, okay. Let's talk about it in the discussion. Alrighty, let's talk about the episode. Um, so God, where do I start? Here, let's just as always, just the easiest way to do it, just go through it chronologically. I'll just talk about the stuff when I get there. That'll be, yeah, we'll be good. So Shinobu has uncovered the secret information of the Mr. Donut sale. And just, I don't know, something I was just thinking about, I said it during the episode too, is like, obviously when Shinobu was like a vampire, or I mean, when she was kiss shot, I guess, because she's still a vampire, like, kinda, in the way, same way Aragi's like kind of a vampire, kind of a human, you know? She didn't eat donuts, right? So when did she gain this love for donuts? As a, you know, I don't know. When was she introduced to donuts, I guess? Was Oshino just buying her donuts when she was sitting there in the school? I don't know. I don't know. Um, I, I feel like there has to be something to the donut thing. Um, but like, I don't know. I don't know what it could possibly be. Couldn't tell you. There has to be something there though, like for real. I'm telling you. It's the like the buckets. I don't know. There's something there for sure. So we have this very interesting conversation with Tsukihi that I don't even. God, there's a lot of stuff I kind of want to think about with it, but it all just feels like crazy and like going way too far. So, like, we're talking about this justice stuff. And obviously, she's not as into justice as Karen, right? Because Karen, that's her entire thing is justice, you know? Um, and like, you remember how I was talking about how if Karen is just like Araragi in terms of this whole justice thing, then it would make sense to me if Tsukihi is just like Araragi, or just like Kiyomi. I should be saying Kiyomi. Is just like Kiyomi in, like, I mean, some other aspect of him, right? Because they're his sisters. They're his little sisters. So them, like, almost being uh, like parts of him in terms of, you know, they're his siblings and they're, you know, his little sisters. So, like, that would make sense to me. And it's obviously, like, so explicit with Karen and the justice stuff, you know? Um, but I guess just like Skihi, just like hmm, she says, God, I forget how this conversation goes exactly, so I don't want to go ahead. I want to make sure I get every line here. She has faith in the justice that Aragi and that Kiyomi and Karen have in common. And so she says that her justice is fake and that she's too influenced by the people around her, right? So like in the conversation that Karen and Kiyomi had at the end of Karen B, that was pretty much like explicitly brought up, right? That Aragi thinks that your sense of justice has to like come from within yourself fully, and that you can't let your opinion be swayed by other people, basically, right? Um, so she says here that her justice is fake, and that the reason she talks about this is because she's too easily influenced by the people around her. Which is really interesting because it reminds me, like, the immediate thing to think of here is um Aragi's whole thing about like his humanity that he brings up in Kizu, that he talks about in Kizu all the time, right? That he thinks because it just boils down to the idea that if he lets himself be influenced by other people, right, then he becomes less human, you know? Because it's like the idea that he somehow being unaffected by other people, that is like the real him, you know? And if he lets himself be influenced by other people, then that's like him becoming less human. He's becoming like fake, you know? And Skihi says this that really like obviously goes along with that. I guess I just don't really know like what to say about it other than that. I mean, like, if Karen is this like justice side of Aragi, um, is like very similar to that. Like she's literally like just like Kiyomi in that sense. Could you say that Skihi is just like Kiyomi? Um, I mean, not right. So this is where I'm struggling because this is a part of himself that he rejects like, fully, right? That Tsukihi is just, like, pretty much saying, like, oh, I'm just like that. So, I guess it doesn't have to be that she's, like, similar to him in some way. It could just be that Karen is very similar to him, and Tsukihi, like, is less so, or is representative almost of, like, these things that he rejects in a way. And I guess her being apparently this immortal evil bird fake monster could go along with that in, like, the same way that Araragi thinks that this side of him, that this whole being influenced by other people thing, is, like, he thinks of it as, like, becoming a monster, being a vampire, right? Am I on the right track here? I just don't know. I really don't know. Tsukihi is it's so hard to, like, get a read on her, I guess. But yeah, I mean, she just talks all about just how people influence her too much. So I guess, like, that makes sense, right? If she's apparently this evil monster bird, which I don't, like, buy that, obviously. I don't really believe Kaganui and Ononoki saying that she is an evil fake who's a monster. But if she is she is obviously immortal, so she is like an oddity. She is like an aberration, right? And if she is the one saying all of this stuff, and Araragi thinks of this stuff as being representative of being a monster, then I guess that makes sense to me. Like, from Araragi's perspective. But the interesting point here, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when we get to the later scene, when they're talking about it, about Tsukihi being a monstrous fake. So, and in terms of saying, like, it's time for the Fire Sisters to retire, I feel like there's some kind of deeper meaning to that, like what the Fire Sisters represent. My God, I don't know. I'm just saying I know there's something there. I don't know. So, my bad. And yeah, he's a helpful and reliable older brother, so I'm sure about that. I am sure about that. Like, maybe I guess you could say that it's interesting that Karen and Tsukihi's potentially breaking up as the Fire Sisters has coincided so much with Araragi, with, like, the end of Karen B and all of that happening, right? And Araragi having that talk with Karen about justice and everything. Hmm. Hmm. So, there's this weird thing about the scar. So, like, I believe. Oh, I have to go back here after this scene. I'm gonna go back and read. What was at the start? I forgot to read it. So there's this weird thing with that about the scar, which I think it's the scar that. I mean, it has to be. It has to be the scar that was mentioned in that text flash in one of the way earlier episodes. It's one of, like, the first episodes in Nisei, I think, where they talked about Tsukihi, like, rescuing Karen from, like, what even was it, like a truck or something, some crazy shit. I don't know. And they talked about how she had, like, battle scars or whatever, and that's how they thought of it, you know, from her, like, helping Karen. And the scar is gone, right? I assume it's has to do with her weird immortality bird thing, obviously, right? There has to be some kind of meaning to this, right? The fact that she has this scar that is, like, a reminder of what she did with Karen, a reminder of, like, this thing that she did, and now it's gone, you know? There literally has to be something there that, like, means, you know? I just don't know what. I'm all out of ideas. But that's obviously some kind of narrative device that means something. So, don't you love when I just point out things that I know mean something and I just don't know what? So, like, I just know it means something. God. And obviously the fact that we're talking about scars too, like Scar Kizu, you know, however we framed, like, everything that happened to Araragi over spring break and with Shinobu as, like, a scar, you know, they scarred each other, and this scar has faded. God, I don't know. I can obviously just draw all these connections to stuff. There's obviously some kind of meaning to it. I just don't know what. I just don't know what. So, unlucky, I guess. Surely someone knows. Someone can tell me what it means. I don't, like, Araragi, I don't know. I mean, if we want to bring it up for the 9 millionth time in Nisei, it's, you know, the whole thing with the way he reacts to characters in situations like this, the way he acts to them in, like, weird sexual situations, and, like, you know, the way he is acting towards Tsukihi here is interesting. It's, like, with this level of familiarity, but it's not like he's not being, like, um weird with her, like the same way he was with like Karen, you know? Okay, no, this is weird. This isn't something any normal human being should ever do. But he's not acting in like the crazy, insane way that he was acting in like the toothbrush episode, you know, with Karen. So, because he just has this sense of just I don't know. He just doesn't care. I don't know. Which is interesting. I mean, it's interesting because I feel like it doesn't. It's not like he's rejecting it like he does with like Nautico. It feels like it's like this sense of like familiarity, I suppose, with Aragi and Tsukihi. Hmm. And Tsukihi, I don't think you are required to have a physical relationship with your brother. I think whoever told you that is, I think that's not correct. So, so I don't know. You might want to work on that one. So we go to Mr. Donut. This is a great scene. I love Shinobu. So she loves the donuts, I guess. Unfortunately, she learns about the harsh reality of capitalism and that she can't eat all of the donuts. So unlucky, I guess. Unlucky. She has been fully betrayed by the truth of this world. She can't handle it. God, could there be some like silly meaning I could take from this, from being forced to choose the donuts? I bet there is. There has to be. There has to be something behind it. I'm telling you. I just don't know what it is. I don't know. It's rough. It's hard. I don't know. Just like these really like I don't know. I'm telling you, when the author was writing this, he was thinking about something. I don't know what. So and we decided to get 10 donuts. I don't know why we wouldn't just get a dozen. Is that just like not a normal thing in Japan? Like, because in the US, it's like you get a dozen donuts. You know, that's normally like cheaper, right? But we get 10. Like, come on. I guess if it's maybe it's because it's a sale. Maybe it's because it's already part of a 100 yen sale. It's not like they're going to stack. Like, if you can get a discount for buying 12 donuts, it's not like they're going to stack the discount for the 100 yen alongside getting 12 for cheaper already. Like, that just wouldn't work at all. So, glad we figured that out. She loves donuts. She sure does love donuts. So we talk about Kaganui and Ononoki. Um, she's not human. She's a oddity. I don't really know what to make of her. She has this weird, like, emotionless type thing going on. Um, she's apparently similar to Shinobu. Obviously, it's yeah, we're drawing these very obvious like similarities between her and Shinobu, with like she is apparently bound to Kaganui in some way. Just like Shinobu says that she's been bound by Oshino, because she is the name Oshino Shinobu, right? I don't know what that means exactly. Apparently their names are very similar. I don't know. Her name sounds like Kaganui. Yatsugi does. I guess I'm gonna look up. I mean, I'm just gonna try and translate and figure out what Yatsugi means. No, I Yatsugi. What? Air, I guess, but like I don't. Okay, I don't know. Hair to the like. Okay, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? I don't get it. Someone should tell me what it means. I guess it could be like a weird kanji thing, in which case there's no chance of me figuring it out. So, because I mean they even show the kanji here, so I'm sure there's something. Someone can tell me. Someone knows out there. I don't know this weird like name binding thing. I don't. That hasn't really been brought up before, right? So I mean, I guess kind of it has, because we know that Shinobu lost her name, right? She was called Kiss Shot, and now she's not. So there's obviously names are important in some way, right? Hmm. I don't know. It's interesting. And it's yeah, and yeah, to go back to like the Shinobu Ononoki thing, it's like Ononoki is like it seems like she's like Kaganui's like minion, you know. And Shinobu's like, "Oh, I'm not like that," you know. So like it obviously it makes me think about how for a while I think I've said this before about how when Shinobu was um I mean it's not like she was pretending, but when Shinobu was being that little, you know, sitting in the corner doing nothing version of herself for all of Bake, um it always made me think about how for Araragi, it's like this is like a reminder of his whole like humanity monster thing. You know, it's like he feels like what he's done to Shinobu now is take away everything that makes her herself, right? And it's like his worst nightmare in terms of what it means to like be human for him, you know. And I guess for Ononoki, it's like she has no emotions, it seems like, right? She speaks in this very flat, emotionless tone at all times. She never expresses anything at all. Um, and she, like, apparently literally is, like, Kaganui's, like, minion, you know? So it's almost like Ononoki is actually that thing. Because unlike Shinobu, because Shinobu obviously wasn't actually like that, right? Like, when Shinobu was pretending to be like that in Bake, she wasn't actually a lifeless husk that had everything about her sucked out of her. You know, that's just what's like, that's what Araragi would think when looking at her, you know. And in a way, that's like what she was trying to make Araragi think so that he would kill her, right? Ononoki, it's almost like she actually is that. At least visually, that's what it seems like. That she's a familiar of Kaganui. It seems like she has like no emotions, you know. I guess we don't really have a full understanding of what their relationship is. Um, but I guess that's, I don't know. I guess that's just it. There's obviously just like a connection between those two things to me. And I feel like there will be for Aragi as well, in terms of like how he views them, I guess. Hmm. And Kaiki's here. I really thought it was going to be Oshino for a second, but I guess if it was Oshino, that'd be crazy. No way. No way Oshino is going to show up and solve everything, right? What Hanakawa wanted, but no way. So Kaiki's here on some business. I don't know. I'm thinking like, does he have anything to do with like what's going on with Kaganui? Because like it's so weird that there's all these like specialists around. Because like it's obvious that Kaganui knows Oshino. She calls him Oshino-kun. Um, Kaiki talks about how like Kaganui is so well known in this industry and all of this. I assume. I mean, who knows what the secret society of specialists is like? I don't know, but I assume then Kaiki would also know Oshino, would have some connection to him. Um, I don't know. To me, it's obvious that there has to be some kind of connection here because, like, what's the chance that two specialists show up in town at the same time? You know, it's possible that it's all just related to Oshino leaving town, right? Like, um, who knows how it works, right? But Oshino was in the town before. Now he's gone, and now Kaganui and Kaiki show up. So I don't know if there's like I just that obviously that feels connected to me in some way, right? Like if it was like Kaganui is taking over for Oshino almost because she's going to the school and she's setting up base there and all of this, right? But I feel like Kaiki has to be in town for a similar reason. Um, man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really wildly speculating. Who knows? Who knows? And apparently Kaiki does know about yeah, he does know about Kaganui and Ononoki. He tells it's really like he's egging Aragi on, telling him about how they're exorcists who hate immortal creatures and want to kill him. I mean, you know, he doesn't literally say that they want to kill him, but the way he like laughs and all of this at the end, it obviously it's like he's implying to Aragi that they're here to kill you, you know. Um, which is interesting. Hmm. I don't know. Would if Kaganui and Ononoki knew about Tsukihi being an immortal bird thing somehow, would Kaiki also know about that? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how they're getting all of this information. God, I don't know. I hate speculating about future events. I actually do. And that might sound really silly for someone who's like making reaction videos because I feel like that's something that people like expect. But I actually just hate like predicting things and trying to think about the future. I just want to watch what happens and just analyze it. That's all I want to do. So, I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll see. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I guess it's not even like future events. It's just trying to like I don't know extrapolate like weird details that we haven't really been given yet. So, man, I don't know. I don't know. We do have this interesting discussion about like what does it even mean to be immortal exactly? You know, which I think is an interesting. I don't know. It's an interesting thing to bring up because is it not, are not just all oddities immortal, essentially, right? Like, would Komburu's monkey arm eventually die of old age? I don't think so. Would Black Hanakawa feels like such a weird special case because it's like inside of her. So maybe you could say that one isn't immortal, but I don't know. Like the snake with Nadeko, would that just eventually die? I doubt it, you know? Um so I don't know. It's interesting, this whole immortality thing. Hmm. 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 And yeah, they're in the same business as Oshino, obviously, but they are exorcists who are very violent about it, which it's like it's actually really interesting. Think about this. How like Oshino, his whole thing was like the balance, you know. Oshino's thing was we always dealt with aberrations in a way um, that didn't involve murdering them, right? And that kind of seems to be Kaganui's thing, is she murders them brutally. Um, So, and then Kaiki, I guess if we think about like the three specialists we've seen, Kaiki, it's not that he's like on the side of aberrations or something, because he says he doesn't even think they exist. Not that I really believe him, because like what does that mean? I mean, like I get, God, you could look at it in the sense of like what oddities exist, like looking at it as like a realist, like what the oddity like represents for like characters, you know, and like you can look at it in that sense instead of looking at it as like a monster that needs to be killed, you know. And then yeah, and then Oshino is like in the, you know, he's the one with the balance. So I think that's interesting. I don't know. Hmm. So they're here to kill Tsukihi. So I think maybe this is a silly thing to say, but I think it is meaningful if you like really think about it. Aragi's immediate assumption is that they're here to kill him, right? And Shinobu, of course. And like obviously, like logically that makes sense because he was just told by Kaiki that they kill immortal aberrations and he thinks they're the only immortal aberrations here, you know. Yeah, but ignore that for a second. And I feel like his immediate assumption that they're here to kill him is meaningful because it shows how like he thinks like what he is now and probably what Shinobu is too, like what he's done to Shinobu, I guess, is like wrong, right? Like I feel like to him, it's still just like when he was a vampire and there were vampire hunters coming to kill him. He still thinks that it makes sense and that it's normal that um, people would come to murder him. You know, because I think it's just like it shows how he thinks still what he is just like fundamentally wrong. You know, and I think we're like really getting into that specifically here with like what they call Tsukihi. You know, because like yeah, he calls Shinobu an immortal creature not of this world, and he calls himself her servant. You know, but I think he certainly thinks of that of himself too, right? That he's just an evil vampire creature. You know, I mean that was explicitly brought up before. Um, hmm. But they say that it's all been dealt with, and that Aragi and Shinobu are not an issue. She calls him a human, right? She calls him a normal human, which is very important because just like Oshino did, right? Oshino would always call him a normal human, right? The important thing here is that Aragi doesn't think of himself as a normal human, right? So, and yeah, and she knows Oshino, right? And that's part of why I'm like comparing them so much because they would like obviously, you know, they know each other well. Apparently, I wish Oshino had told us about evil exorcist lady coming to murder us. I don't know. Not that I don't actually think that. I don't actually think she's evil, most likely, but um, and we use the unlimited rule book, whatever that means, to murder Tsukihi. I realized I forgot to read the beginning thing again. I will do that at the end. I swear to God, I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it down. Um, read beginning. Okay, there we go. Surely I won't forget now. Um, we kill Tsukihi, we murder her, but she is apparently like extremely immortal because her entire upper half of her body gets blown off. But just like I don't know, just like Kishot or Aragi when he was like full power, she just regenerates immediately. So that is interesting. Hmm. And like, what are we doing here? Shouldn't this be the thumbnail? Can make this the thumbnail. Would that be a good thumbnail? What do you think? Oh, whoops. There we go. A little bit silly. um, and she says Ocean is catchphrase. So, for one, I wonder why they even try to kill Tsukihi if they know that she's immortal. Because they knew that wasn't going to do anything, right? So they just destroyed his house. So, unlucky, I guess. Obviously, Aragi's real mad that they just tried to kill his sister. He thinks she's dead, but she's not, of course. All right, so I guess we're getting into it. That was never truly your sister. So, like, what do we mean here, right? Are we saying that Tsukihi? I mean, yeah, that's what it seems like to me. We're saying that Tsukihi has always been the bird and has never been a human. That Tsukihi has always been an oddity. Okay. That doesn't mean that she's not his sister, right? And I think that's the very important thing here, right? Because it's like we're going back to the conflict that was set up in episode 1 of Nisei, where Aragi's thinking about how since he's a vampire now, he doesn't fit in with his family, and he thinks he's like an evil monster, right? That's why he thinks that he doesn't fit in with his family anymore. He thinks he's become a monster. He's not himself, right? And that's like literally what they're saying about Tsukihi, right? Is that she's possessed by an immortal bird, that she was never his sister, that she has always been an evil, bird thing, a phoenix, I assume, right? And I mean, like, this is what Araragi thinks of himself, right? Like, obvious, like, he literally, like, said this in episode 1 of Nisemonogatari, right? So, I guess, here, let's go through Shinobi's conversation real quick. I don't remember if there's, like, anything I care about in this. Sorry, that's mean. But, I mean, she threatens to drain Ononoki. I mean, and, like, could she do this? I don't know. She seemed to be pretty strong taking on Black Hanakawa. Araragi thinks of it as a bluff, so... I don't know. It's like, time isn't an important factor for you, Because they're immortal. So, God, I just want to get to those lines at the end, because I think that shows it very well, I think. So they say they're the good guys. Oh, come on, where is it? Get to it already. She's a supernatural, a monstrous fake that snuck into a human family, right? So it's like, just like what Araragi said in Nisei 1 about how he's a vampire who needs to tell his family that he's a vampire because he thinks he's, like, not himself anymore, right? We're saying that Tsukihi is a monstrous fake that snuck into a human family and is, like, an evil bird who has always been an evil bird, right? So, like, the two possibilities here are, one, that Tsukihi is actually just, like, this evil, manipulative creature that has been pretending to be a human because they're evil this whole time and deceiving everyone, which I don't believe that at all. And the second option is that it doesn't matter and that Tsukihi is still Tsukihi anyway, right? And, like, yeah, right? Like, obviously. Like, if Tsukihi is just this phoenix thing, but she's been being Tsukihi the whole time, she's still Tsukihi. She's still his sister, But it's like challenging Aragi's view that, like, what he is now is fundamentally wrong, Because, like, so it's just going to come down to what Aragi's conclusion on this is going to be, If Aragi can accept that Tsukihi is still his sister anyway, then you would think he can accept that he is still himself anyway, right? Despite... I mean, that would be a big jump for him, right? If he can accept, oh man, but as I'm saying this, I'm just realizing, like, Aragi's never fair, is he? He's never fair about himself versus other people. He always has an unfair standard for himself compared to others. So, I guess he could totally accept that Tsukihi is still his sister and isn't a monstrous fake, and still think of himself as a monstrous fake. Like, he totally could, even though how stupid that would be, But, like, that's obviously, like, where we're going, right? And, like, the fact that Kaganui, like, says that she's the good guy, that what that is evil. It's just, like, that's what Aragi thinks, right? Aragi thinks that there's this fundamental, like, truth of good and evil, and what he is now is evil. Like, yeah, he thinks he's on the wrong side of that now. Um, and I guess we're challenging this because he would have to then accept that Tsukihi is just evil, that I don't think he will do. Like, there's no way he's going to think that Tsukihi is evil, right? And it's going to challenge him because he thinks that he himself is evil anyway, right? So it's a contradiction in his mind between how he thinks about himself, how he thinks about how he's going to think about Tsukihi, and like how he's thought about her before too, you know? Because like obviously up until this moment, there's never been a problem. Tsukihi's just been Tsukihi, you know? And it's also just the fact that, like, you know, they're the good guys who are here to enforce what Aragi thinks is, like, good and evil, you know? Because it's like he agrees with them, you know? He agrees with Kaganui about what she's saying, that there was, like, a fundamental evil and a fundamental good. And that Aragi should agree with her that exterminating these evil, monstrous fakes is, like, a good thing, you know? But he's not going to, right? Like, no way he's going to. That's the point, you know? So, I don't know. I guess that's just obviously like the emotional conflict here. I just don't. I mean, I can imagine so many ways that this could go. I just don't. I just don't know. I feel like there's no way. Because if Araragi can somehow accept that he isn't a monstrous fake and that who he is now is still himself, that just like fixes everything, you know? So, I mean, maybe that doesn't fix everything, I guess. Um, I, oof. But unfortunately, he could totally accept that for Tsukihi and not accept that for himself. So, man, I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. I mean, I do know where we're going with this. I just don't know like what angle it's going to take. So, that was a good episode. Let me read the stuff at the beginning real quick. Said Tsukihi as she nodded her head with an unsure expression. She also appeared lighthearted and relaxed with her head slightly tilted back. Droopy eyes, loose expression. Slumped shoulders slouched back. It's as if she's a lounging panda. But I can't let myself be deceived by her appearance. It's quite obvious that she's nowhere near lighthearted or relaxed, since just this morning she practically beat Karen and me to a pulp. Was that really this morning? That she isn't the slightest bit sleepy. She's a fully alert panda, a bear. Wow, we keep comparing her to a bear or a panda. In my honest opinion, of the two fire sisters, Karen would be much easier to control, since she's a reckless idiot. But Tsukihi is an uncontainable fool, one that goes beyond capable manipulation. She has her hysterical peaks. If Karen is the red flame, then Tsukihi would be the blue flame. Being careless means getting burnt, not just a slight singe of the skin, but a deep scorching to the bone. That definitely means something in relation to the whole Karen Tsukihi Kiyomi thing. But I don't know what. Sure do love that, don't we? Anyway, that was a good episode. I'm very excited for the finale now. That was a really good episode. So, man, yeah, I don't know. I guess we will see. So leave a comment, tell me what you think, please. And I will see you in the next one.